You're driving through a torrential downpour in the dead of night. Your wipers are barely keeping up. Then, the beam of your headlights catches a distorted silhouette standing directly in your path. Before you can react, your headlights cut out completely. Total darkness. Most people picture Goa as a sun-drenched paradise. It's an idyll of pristine beaches, coastal resorts, and warm, historic streets built during the height of the Portuguese Empire. But step away from the coastline and head into the rural mainland, and you'll find places like the Beta Coal Stretch. It's a deeply isolated ribbon of asphalt choked by dense tropical forest. Locals who have lived here their entire lives know better than to take a wrong turn down these routes. To them, getting lost on these jungle roads isn't an inconvenience. They consider this stretch of pavement an active feeding ground for an invisible, violent energy. Survivors who travel through Beta Coal report the exact same sequence of mechanical failures. Without warning, steering columns lock up. Vehicles veer sharply. Drivers will panic and slam the brake pedals straight to the floorboard, only to find zero resistance. Right before the collisions occur, there is a consistent auditory signature. Victims hear the sharp, piercing scream of a woman echoing from the pitch-black tree line. Local authorities write these incidents off as driver fatigue, poor visibility, and hazardous conditions. The residents of the surrounding villages completely reject that official line. This antique map outlines the historical layout of the island and city of Goa. When you plot out the specific coordinates of every unexplained crash and reported phantom sighting along the Beta Coal stretch, they form a distinct pattern. They cluster around a single geographic point. Following these routes inland, away from the coast, leads to the exact center of the cluster, the De Mello house. The horrific accidents out on the asphalt are actually symptoms of a localized sickness radiating from this specific mansion. This is the De Mello house today. It was originally built during the Portuguese rule of Goa as a symbol of staggering aristocratic wealth. Now, its pillars are rotting, and the surrounding jungle is slowly crushing its arched stone windows. The decay began with the De Mello family themselves. Following the death of the patriarch, a bitter dispute erupted between the two surviving brothers over who would inherit this vast, lucrative estate. Their disagreement rapidly escalated into a deeply violent obsession. They sabotaged each other, tearing their own family structure apart from the inside, until the feud culminated in a final, bloody confrontation that left them both dead. According to the lore, the sheer emotional weight of their hatred acted like an anchor. Their souls refused to cross over, permanently trapping them inside the very inheritance they destroyed themselves to claim. Modern trespassers who approach the crumbling walls report hearing sudden, aggressive activity. The unmistakable sound of glass shattering and men screaming in rage will erupt from rooms that have been completely empty for decades. Stepping inside triggers a severe physiological response. People describe an immense, crushing pressure settling on their chests, accompanied by the distinct primal sensation that something in the dark is actively hunting them. The entities inside have evolved into something far more conscious and hostile than simple residual echoes. They react to the presence of the living with targeted, aggressive rage. As the brothers' hatred festered over the decades, it curdled into a concentrated spiritual rot, a void of negative energy that eventually invited an older, distinctly demonic presence to inhabit the property's very soil. This animated diagram maps the De Mello curse. The demonic entity at the core cannot be contained by its stone walls. Dark energy continually pulses outward. Bleeding into the environment, it infects nearby road networks. These road anomalies function as a deliberate snare, engineered to pull disoriented, terrified travelers off the path and lead them directly toward the estate. The De Mello house operates exactly like a predatory organism. The haunted roads serve as a sprawling web, and the mansion itself is the spider waiting in the center. Today, the property stands entirely abandoned. It is a decaying monument to human greed, swallowed by thick jungle foliage and saturated with supernatural terror. Locals follow a strict set of rules to survive it. They refuse to even look in the direction of the house during the day, and they absolutely will not travel the surrounding roads after the sun goes down. If you ever find yourself driving down a lonely Goan road at night and you hear a woman's scream echoing from the trees, keep your foot on the gas, keep your eyes forward, and do not look back. Because the DeMello house is never truly empty, it is simply waiting for its next guests. Have you ever experienced something completely unexplainable on a dark road? Let us know in the comments.